making another soap here today. This soap I'm going for tie-dye. Now once you see all the colors I'm using and the scent I'm using, I think you'll get the sense for this soap here. What we're going to do here is we're going to start like we always do with the oils. In here we have olive oil, coconut oil, sunflower oil, avocado oil, and castor oil. We are going to add our lye water. One thing I realized I forgot to add is a little bit of salt to this one. Some sodium lactate. Typically you would add this to the lye water, but we're running a little bit rogue today. So that's going in there. Let me just mix it in, and then we will get to pulsing here. Now what that salt does is it gets a harder bar, and although I want this to be a fluid batter now, I am going to want this bar to be hard. Alright, let me get to pulsing here using the correct, you saw my last video, I realized I had been pushing the wrong button this whole time. If you can see this, there are two buttons on here. There's a 1 and a 2. I had been pushing 2 this whole time. Here's the first pulse at this soap. I am going to be adding the fragrance oil here. The fragrance oil for this soap is going to be Patchouli by Aztec. And this whole little sample will fit here in my batter. And we're just going to mix that by hand. Alrighty. So, this is where this soap gets interesting. Now, I am going to show you all the colors we're using. The first thing I am going to be using will be a white. I will be using titanium dioxide. Currently, I have this mixed with water, because I do have the water-soluble kind. Now, this soap, I'm using the Vibrance collection by Nurture Soap. So, I'm going to be using Yellow Vibrance. This is a beautiful yellow. Now, mind you, we had a yellow fiasco, so this Yellow Vibrance is actually mixed with a little bit of yellow chiffon, so it'll still be just as bright, just it might have a slight pastel look. We're going to be using the Pink Vibrance. This is a hot pink. Exactly what it sounds like. We have the Purple Vibrance. Now this is a hot purple. I love this color. I'm pretty sure this was the color of the bridesmaids dresses in my wedding. Then we have the Orange Vibrance Mica. I have used this in quite a few soaps here. I love this color. It just creates this beautiful orange that doesn't turn brown, which I've discovered most oranges tend to do. This is the Green Vibrance. This one I actually really love to mix with other greens because it makes them pop just enough, but this one will be by itself today. And then we have the Red Vibrance. I have not used the Red Vibrance yet. It is a little bit of a muted red from what I can see in here compared to some of the reds I have been using, such as the red pigment, which I got the red, though I think it's called the really red, because I heard that makes a beautiful red, so I'm interested to see what this one makes. And then the last one, the Blue Vibrance Mica. So those are actually sitting in over here. Each of them has their own little cup. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this over to the side. I'm going to bring in the cup along with the colorants, and we will get to pouring and sorting and getting all of this going. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the cup that has the mica in it, pour a little bit of this into it. So I'm going to do this with each of them. This is what's going to happen here. I'm going to take the little one and stir it up really good with the mica that is in the bottom of this. Get it all mixed in. And then I'm going to take the cup it belongs into and I'm going to drop that yellow right on into there. Everybody, now that all of my colors are mixed in, I've brought in my mold. This is just a mold that I picked up at Dollar General, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to be doing different dots or different circular patterns here. I'm going to be doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hopefully about 6 of them. Guys, there is the final product. I'll probably just clean up the edges here, and the extra soap has ended up right here, which should be an interesting little soap in the end. So we'll be back in 24 to 48 hours to take a look, but I'll bring you in for a closer look. Hello everybody, welcome back. Look at how great this soap turned out. It has been like 2 weeks since I've actually created this soap. It seems alright. The bottom seems a little sticky, but I think that happens to be where it was sitting. So this is the Patchouli scented soap. At the moment I'm just calling it Mary Jane, but it may have another name in the end. This bar is actually a little softer than I thought it was going to be when I cut into it. not a big deal. It just makes it a little muddy when I cut it, so I'm actually going to stop cutting it because I want the flowers on the side to come out a little bit better. So I am going to let this one sit here and cure just a little bit longer. The recipe obviously had a little bit of lighter oils in it, so we will be back to cut this one shortly. Hey everybody, it's Haley. Welcome back to Liberty Bird Soaps. So I know we had already started cutting this soap a while ago. It's been about a month, and it was a little bit soft. It's been about a month, so what I'm doing now is I'm going to be able to cut this. It is soft enough, so I have trimmed up one of the sides, and you can see just how much the swirl comes out on these, the little flowers as they're called. So let me grab, using a new knife today, let me measure these out. So I did cut off this one. I have not taken care of the side yet, but now look at that swirl. Put these off to the side here and get to cutting. Since I've let it sit a little bit longer, it has hardened up, so the cuts are just going to be a little bit more crisp here. It's what it does when you wait to cut your soap and let it harden as well as it should. You are able to cut it a little nicer. Obviously, if I had a real cutter, one that, like the wire ones or a cheese cutter, it might even work a little bit better. Bring in this next one. Now this is the middle, so it should have 3 sides that don't need to be trimmed. This one obviously would need to be trimmed. This was the one that was closest to the end of the mold, or was the end of the mold. There you have it. And then the final cut. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to bring you on in for a closer look. But just as a reminder, all of the soaps that you are seeing right now will be available December 1st at a craft fair I am at, if you happen to be local to Vermont. It'll be at the Essex High School, 10 to 3 on Saturday, December 1st. And then if I have any soaps remaining after the craft fair, they should be available on my Facebook group the first full week of December. Alright guys, bringing you in for a closer look, and you guys have a great night.